Unlocking the hidden truths of the soul, a journey through sacred revelations. I never expected a single dream to change everything. The night air was thick with anticipation as I closed my eyes, the shadows flickering across my room. When sleep took me, it felt as if the universe opened up, and I was swept into a realm where every whisper held a secret. I stood on the edge of a glowing valley, colors swirled like fire and ice. A figure beckoned me from the distance, cloaked in light, their face obscured but radiating warmth that wrapped around my heart. Doubt danced in my mind. Was this real? I could feel the pulse of the earth beneath my feet, its energy electric and alive. My chest tightened as I stepped closer, the figure merging with the landscape, a riddle waiting to be solved. I was searching for answers, but the questions overwhelmed me. What did it mean? Who was that? Days passed, yet the dream lingered like an echo. I found myself in meditation, breaths deep and calming, trying to regain that spark of illumination. The world beyond my closed eyelids transformed into a wonderland of swirling energies, whispers of ancient voices calling out through the rustling leaves. I opened my eyes to mundane reality, feeling unmoored. But then, a series of signs began. The color blue flashed across my vision at odd moments, paintings, shirts, even strangers' eyes. My heart raced with the thought, was it a message? Each encounter felt charged, as if the universe conspired to connect me to something greater. The air shimmered with possibilities, pregnant with the unknown. One evening, I stepped outside, the cool breeze wrapping around me like a lover's embrace. The sky transformed into a canvas of deep indigo sprinkled with stars, each one shimmering with potential. I closed my eyes again, seeking that connection, hoping that maybe tonight would reveal more. As I stood there, I sensed a shift. A soft rustle in the leaves turned into whispers, blending with the wind. My pulse quickened. What was the universe trying to tell me? And then it happened. A vision of the figure from my dream flooded my mind, clearer than before. They pointed down a path, shadowy yet inviting. The ground quaked beneath me, as if urging me to take a step forward. What lay at the end? My body tingled, a blend of fear and exhilaration. Would I find the truth waiting there, or another layer of mystery to unravel? I glanced back at my home. The familiar darkness felt suddenly daunting. Time seemed to pause, the world holding its breath. But I was longing for more, driven by that thirst for understanding that enveloped me like a shroud. The unanswered question hung in the air, pulsating. Was I ready to discover what lay ahead? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The following night unfolded under a shroud of twilight, drawing me closer to the threshold of the unknown. Somehow attuned to the energy of the universe, I ventured into the depths of the forest, cradled by the symphony of nocturnal life. Shadows danced among the trees, their forms flickering with ancient wisdom, and an instinct whispered to trust what lay ahead. With every step, the path seemed to twist and turn as if challenging me to decipher its purpose. Suddenly, a flicker of blue caught my eye. There, nestled against the gnarled roots of an ancient oak, was a small feather, bright against the earthen tones of the forest floor. I knelt to pick it up, reverently cradling it in my palm. The feather felt alive, pulsing in rhythm with my heartbeat. This, too, was a sign, perhaps a message from the realm beyond, guiding me toward a deeper truth. As I continued further, the woods began to narrow, leading me to a clearing. The air changed, thickening with an electric charge. There, in the center of the open space, stood a stone altar, overgrown with moss and lichen but undeniably present, an invitation demanding attention. Would this hold the key? My heart drummed a frantic beat as I approached it, each breath a prayer. The altar was adorned with symbols that seemed to leap from the surface, creating a tapestry of stories yet untold. I traced my fingers over the carvings, feeling their weight and significance. Among the entangled lines, one symbol stood out, a spiral spiraling inward. It felt like I had seen it before, perhaps in the sacred geometry of my dreams. Inspiration surged within me. Was this the path to unlocking the deeper layers of my journey, my own spiraling path of discovery? I closed my eyes and leaned against the cool stone. In that moment, the forest hushed, as if the world paused to witness my surrender. I sank into a meditative trance, allowing my thoughts to dissolve into the night. A vision unfurled, the enigmatic figure from my dreams reappeared, their form shifting seamlessly between light and shadow. They gestured toward the sky, urging me to open my heart and mind wider to the truths woven within its vastness. Upon reopening my eyes, I noticed a luminescence emanating from above, bathing the clearing in a silvery glow. A meteor shower streaked across the heavens, trailing messages of inspiration and hope. Each flash felt like a spark igniting the dormant embers of my soul. Had the universe conspired to unveil the very truths I sought? Was I truly prepared for the revelations that awaited? In the wake of that celestial display, something shimmered at the edge of my perception. A small orb of light hovered above the altar, pulsating slowly. My breath caught in my throat. It felt alive, beckoning me closer. I reached out, the warmth rolling off it like waves of sunlight. As my fingers brushed against its surface, a vision flooded my mind, an expanse filled with people, cultures, and connections that transcended boundaries. The understanding began to dawn that my quest was not only personal, it was interconnected with the entirety of existence. Yet, even with this glimpse into unity, a faint uncertainty lingered. What was the role I was meant to play within this vast tapestry? Who was I in the grand design of it all? The questions loomed larger than the answers, a dance between fear and exhilaration. Each answer only deepening the complexity of my quest. That I left the clearing, the feather still cradled in my palm, my heart racing. As the dawn began to break across the horizon, coloring the world with hope and promise, I made a silent vow: I would seek to unravel these mysteries until truth and purpose merged into a singular understanding. With new revelations tugging at my spirit, I found myself at a crossroads. Was this journey destined to lead me toward enlightenment, or would it unearth deeper layers of complexity, perhaps untouchable truths? What further signs would grace my path, and would I be courageous enough to continue to follow them despite the uncertainty? Just as the light began to awaken the earth, I was left with a singular reflection that persisted even in the brightest of dawns: how do we embrace the unknown while searching for the truth that truly nourishes our soul? As daylight danced delicately across the landscape, painting the forest in hues of warmth and life, I felt a shift within me. The feather nestled in my palm was no longer just an artifact from the night. It had transformed into a token, a reminder of the journey I was embarking upon. Each step I took felt imbued with a newfound purpose, as if the earth itself was aligning to my awakening. That I ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, where sunlight trickled through the branches like golden rain. With each droplet of light that kissed my skin, I became more attuned to the whispers around me, soft rustlings of leaves, the occasional distant call of a bird. It was as though the forest, alive with its own secrets, beckoned me to listen. Suddenly, the melody of nature melded with another sound, a gentle chime that seemed out of place within the otherwise organic symphony. It was faint, echoing through the trees like a distant bell. Compelled by curiosity, I followed the sound, weaving my way through trunks and tangles, until I stumbled upon a clearing crammed with wildflowers. In the heart of this vibrant patch stood an old woman draped in robes that shimmered like the surface of a brook. She appeared to be tending to the blooms, her hands dancing gracefully as she coaxed life from the earth. Startled yet drawn to her presence, I hesitated before stepping forward. Her eyes, deep and knowing, lifted to meet mine, a smile breaking across her weathered face. "Ah, a seeker of truths," she said, her voice rich like the earth itself. "You carry the weight of questions upon your shoulders, do you not?" I nodded, unable to articulate the myriad thoughts swirling in my mind. She gestured to the flowers surrounding her, each a vibrant testament to the interconnectedness of life. Every petal, every stem, speaks a language only those who listen can comprehend. What have you learned from the universe so far? The question hung in the air, charged with possibility. As I began to speak, recounting my visions and encounters, I felt the woman's energy envelop me, safe yet challenging. With each revelation shared, I was reminded of the feather's pulsamy heart echoed its rhythm. She listened intently, her gaze never wavering, absorbing the reflection of my soul laid bare. Fear and love are but two sides of the same coin, she finally responded, tilting her head contemplatively. In embracing one, you must also confront the other. What do you choose to nurture within you? What truths do you fear to face? Her words reverberated within me, igniting the tumult of questions that had only begun to unfurl. In that moment, I felt the weight of not only my own journey but also the collective journeys of those who had walked before me, each thread intricately woven into the fabric of existence. The symphony of life echoed louder, enveloping me in an understanding that transcended my individual path. With a playful flick of her wrist, the woman encouraged a gust of wind to swirl among the flowers, releasing a cascade of pollen that shimmered in the light. Breathe in the freedom of these wild dreams, she said, and let them guide you forward. She handed me a single flower, vibrant and alive, its essence charged with the energy of life. This will remind you that growth comes from embracing the unknown. As I clutched the blossom, a thought emerged, whispering through the cracks of my burgeoning consciousness. Was fear an obstacle blocking my view or a catalyst propelling me forward? Could I transform the apprehensions that loomed over my journey into stepping stones toward insight? With gratitude swelling in my heart, I thanked the woman before retracing my footsteps through the forest. As I walked, I revisited the questions she had posed, knowing they were not mere inquiries but vital invitations to understand my role within this grand odyssey. What was the deeper meaning behind my fears, my hopes? The world around me illuminated with possibility, each leaf a testament to the unseen connections binding us all. Yet, the fear I had felt also seemed to linger, alive and vibrant. Would it propel me to where I needed to go or bind me to the familiar? As the forest began to close in around me again, I found myself pondering a great mystery, a question both profound and perplexing. How can one embrace the dance between fear and faith in the pursuit of truth, knowing that the unfolding journey may lead into uncharted realms of the spirit? With my heart still pulsing with the vibrancy of the flower's essence, I wandered deeper into the embrace of the forest. Each step carried the weight of my reflections, a meditation on fear and faith that seemed to intertwine like the roots of the ancient trees surrounding me. The late afternoon sun, now hanging low against the canopy, cast elongated shadows that danced playfully among the foliage. It was then that I noticed a path I hadn't seen before, one adorned with delicate mushrooms that glowed faintly in the twilight. Drawn by their luminescence, I felt pulled toward this hidden way, as if the world itself was conspiring to reveal something sacred. As I meandered along the trail, the air grew thick with the scent of earth and living things, filling my lungs with a tobacco sweetness that felt both grounding and exhilarating. The sounds of the forest shifted into a more harmonious rhythm, a gentle rustle, the melodic chirping of crickets, and a silent murmur that seemed to resonate from deep within the earth. I paused for a moment, ears attuned, heart open, surrendering to the message that hovered just out of reach. Entering a small grove nestled away from the main paths, I was met by an astonishing sight. In the center of the grove stood a massive tree, its gnarled roots winding deep into the earth, while its branches reached for the heavens, laden with a myriad of glimmering fruits that shimmered of gold and silver. The tree exuded a wise energy, ancient and almost sentient, as if it recognized my presence and sought to share its truths. Approaching cautiously, I reached up to touch its bark, entwining my fingers around the rough texture. Instantly, I felt a surge of energy coursing through me, as if the very essence of life was being channeled from the tree into my soul. Visions flickered in my mind, glimpses of the past mingling with potential futures. I could see intersections of paths not taken, choices made, and unmade, each moment swirling like colors on a painter's palette. And there, among the vibrant hues, I caught sight of shadows, the edges of fears I had yet to confront. They lurked in corners of my vision, whispering promises of safety in the known, yet drawing me away from the expansive possibilities ahead. The contrast struck me. In seeking to understand and embrace love, I had all too often sidestepped the dance with fear. Carefully, I extracted the flower from my pocket, placing it at the base of the great tree as an offering, a humble token of gratitude and reverence. What must I release in order to grow? I breathed softly, hoping the energy surrounding me might provide clarity. In response, the wind picked up once more, swirling around me before settling softly against the bark of the tree. I could swear I heard a voice, deep and resonant, echoing through the leaves. To grow is to let go, it whispered, coaxing me toward awareness. Fear has a purpose, but to thrive, you must also embrace your desires, dreams, and courage. As I closed my eyes, I allowed the energies to envelop me, visions of my deep-seated dreams mingling with the fears that had held me captive for far too long. In that moment of surrender, I envisioned a path carved not only by the avoidance of fear but also by the acknowledgement of my deepest yearnings, a journey beautifully intertwined. When I opened my eyes again, a palpable shift had settled in the grove, the weight of expectation replaced with a lightness that felt liberating. I had glimpsed a new way forward, a revelation that coaxed forth more questions. How could I hold both fear and desire as companions on this journey? What would happen if I dared to confront these fears, trusting my heart's compass as my guide? With each step back toward the main path, I felt my spirit soar like the wind rustling through the leaves. The questions unfurled before me, vast like the sky above, the answers still hidden yet tantalizingly close. The mysteries of my own soul beckoned, reminding me of the uncharted realms that lay ahead, just waiting to be explored. As I exited the grove, the whispers of the tree lingered in my heart, an echo demanding I ponder once again. Can I courageously dance with my fears while simultaneously nurturing my deepest desires, knowing that the journey itself may reveal the most profound truths hidden within? The forest beckoned me onwards, alive with the secrets of the unknown, yet celebrated in every rustle of leaves and every twinge of roots beneath my feet. The faint glow of the mushrooms lingered in my mind, a soft reminder of the harmony that could exist in the spaces between fear and hope, shadows and light. I wandered further along the winding path, each step acting as an invocation, a call to the universe to unveil the wisdom hidden within this sacred domain. As I walked, I began to notice passing groups of fireflies twinkling around me, their soft luminescence painting the dusk with delicate specks of gold. I wondered if they were not just insects, but rather messengers weaving light into the canopy, a reminder that we all carry our own spark, waiting to illuminate the darkness that surrounds us. It struck me then, how easy it was to overlook the beauty that thrived even within shadows, how often I'd been fixated on fear instead of recognizing my power to shine brightly even in the dimmest moments. Further along the path, I happened upon a shallow stream babbling through the underbrush, its crystal-clear waters glistening like shards of glass under the fading light. Kneeling beside it, I cupped my hands and gathered a sip of its cool essence. The crisp freshness invigorated me, and as I gazed into the reflective surface, I was met not only with my image but with a swirl of emotions that surfaced like disrupted stones. The flow of the water mirrored my own tumult, a reminder of the ever-changing nature of life. Suddenly, the gentle chirping of the crickets harmonized with the splashing of the water, creating a symphony that resonated deep within my core. It led me to ponder, was I, like the stream, capable of flowing smoothly over the rocks of resistance, or would I become stagnant, immobilized by fear? I recalled the lessons from the great tree, though understanding that growth required both surrender and movement, a balance of yielding to the currents of life while daring to navigate its jagged edges. As I rose from the stream, a rustling in the brush drew my attention. From behind a thicket, an elderly woman emerged, her eyes twinkling with the wisdom of countless journeys. Her hair cascaded like silver threads glistening in the twilight, and a soft shawl wrapped around her shoulders, imbued with the earthy scent of the forest. She approached me with grace, as if the very air between us hummed with unspoken understanding. Child of the forest, her voice was both soothing and commanding. You seek answers, yet the heart whispers more than mere solutions. Are you prepared to embrace the questions they may bring? Her query curled into my soul, igniting a spark of realization. Yes, I was ready, I thought. The uncut gems of inquiry had begun to form in the depths of my spirit, and I was compelled to delve deeper. What brings you, seeker? She continued, her gaze steady, betraying neither judgment nor expectation. I gathered courage and spoke of the visions I had experienced, the interplay of fear and desire, the weight of unclaimed dreams, and the echoes of the great tree's wisdom. That which you fear holds the key to your liberation, she responded thoughtfully. Imagine each fear as a door, leading to realms of potential waiting for your touch. Yet you must acknowledge each fear to open it. The key lies not just in bravado but in vulnerability, the courage to embrace your whole self. As her words settled in my heart, I felt a resonance uncoiling within. Fear, which I had long regarded as a foe, began to appear as a companion, a guide through the labyrinth of my inner landscape. I understood then that only by meeting my fears with openness could I truly uncover the dreams that shimmered on the horizon. Before parting, she placed a small, intricately carved stone in my palm, warm and pulsing with energy. May this serve as a talisman, a reminder of your journey. As you face the inevitable questions, carry it with you, let it be your guide. I thanked her, unable to fully express the overwhelming gratitude that surged through me. She smiled, nodding as if she saw the brilliance igniting behind my eyes, and disappeared gracefully back into the embrace of the trees, leaving me to ponder her words. Standing alone beside the stream, I held the stone against my chest, feeling the weight of possibility vibrating through me. The air shimmered with countless revelations yet to unfold. A question lingered in my mind, unsettling yet illuminating. Could I truly embrace each fear as a door and trust that opening them might lead me to a more profound connection with my deeper desires? With a heart now teeming with curiosity, I turned to follow the path back into the enveloping woods, eager to discover where this new inquiry would lead, a journey still unfurling, rich with mystery and the promise of transformation. As I ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, the air thickened with an electric energy, a palpable feeling that something ancient was stirring in the roots and branches surrounding me. Each step felt heavier yet more significant, as though every footfall whispered secrets to the earth, merging my spirit with the soul of the woodland. With the stone nestled safely in my pocket, I could feel its warmth pulsing against my side, a steady reminder of my recent encounter. Suddenly, an unusual sound broke through the melody of Nature, a low, resonant hum that harmonized with the rustling leaves. Curiosity piqued, I followed the sound, weaving through twisted branches and creeping vines until I stumbled upon a small clearing. Before me stood a spectacular sight, a circle of stones, arranged with precise intention, each engraved with symbols that seemed to dance in the sunlight. It felt like a gateway, a portal to deeper understanding. In the center of this sacred space sat a man, his posture relaxed yet infused with undeniable purpose. He wore a tunic woven from fibers of the forest, adorned with small charms of quartz and amber that caught the light like fragments of stars. I hesitated, unsure whether to intrude upon this serene moment, but the hum seemed to beckon me closer, inviting me to share in whatever wisdom awaited. "Welcome, seeker," he said without opening his eyes, the words rolling out like soft thunder. "I have been expecting you." His voice resonated deep within me, and the weight of that expectation felt significant. I heard the sound and felt a pull, I admitted, gazing at the intricate designs on the stones. "What is this place?" "This is a circle of transformation," he replied, finally opening his eyes. They shone with the brightness of 1,000 revelations. Each stone is a message from the earth, a reflection of the fears and desires you carry within. They are waiting for you to unlock their truths. Taking a step further into the circle, I felt a rush of curiosity mingled with trepidation. "How do I unlock these truths?" I asked, my heart racing with the weight of possibility. "By confronting the fears you hold dear," he replied, gesturing towards the stones. "Each symbol represents a part of your Lithia, not binding you, a bridge leading you home, a door waiting to be opened. You must face these fears head-on, for beyond them lie revelations that will transform your very essence." His words resonated deeply, echoing the wisdom of the elderly woman. Yet, I hesitated, grappling with the idea of confronting the very fears that haunted me. "But what if I am consumed by them?" I questioned, my voice tinged with doubt. "Fear is not the master of your destiny unless you allow it to be," he said, his gaze steady. "Embrace it, and it will guide you to what is hidden." Like the forest, fear is a wild and unpredictable force, but it can also nurture growth and strength. You have the power to let it teach you, rather than bind you. I considered his words, the weight of a budding understanding settling in my heart. Perhaps I could visualize the intricate patterns of my fears, allowing them to become threads woven into a tapestry of my experiences. The thought shimmered, illuminating a path I had yet to traverse. Taking a deep breath, I approached the closest stone, its surface marked with a symbol that resembled a lock. "This one speaks of my fear of failure," I murmured, sensing the energy flowing between us. "What must I do?" "Place your hands upon it," he encouraged. "Let the pulse of your truth resonate with the stone, and ask it to reveal its lessons." As I obeyed, the coolness of the stone seeped into my skin, stirring a tremor of vulnerability within me. I closed my eyes, allowing the cascading rush of memories to swirl around my consciousness, the moments of hesitation, missed opportunities, and the weight of self-doubt that clung to my being. Each replaying scene bled into the next, but amid that turmoil, a flicker of light began to emerge. "I am afraid of failing," I confessed aloud, the words tumbling from my lips like a stream finding its way through obstacles. "But maybe I fear not trying more." "Listen to your heart," the man invited, gentle yet firm. "In your willingness to share your truth, you unlock the power to move beyond those fears." The realization took root within me. Each fear was a story waiting to be told, a journey leading to greater understanding. Embracing my true self required revisiting these stories, and I felt a swell of determination rise within. Slowly, I opened my eyes, exhilarated by the connection I had forged with the stone and its symbol. Am I ready for this? To embrace my fears, to open these doors? I asked, the question now echoing around me. "Your journey is yours alone, seeker," he said, a smile breaking upon his face. "The wisdom lies not in rushing, but in trusting the unfolding of your path. Embrace each question as you encounter it. The forest holds answers, but the hardest truths lay within yourself." As I stepped away from the circle, a new awareness blossomed in my chest, each beat thudding like a Druman invitation to a dance between fear and acceptance. The woods began to whisper again, not as a distraction, but as a compelling song of mystery and wonder. With my heart pounding in tandem with the rhythm of the forest, I pondered the experience ahead. What doors awaited, and how would they shape my journey? The questions lingered like a tantalizing fragrance in the air, urging me on into the depths of the unknown, ready for whatever revelations lay ahead. As I stepped back from the circle, the air shifted with a tranquil energy, enveloping me like an embrace. I could feel the warmth of the stone in my pocket synchronizing with my heartbeat, urging me onward. The forest beckoned, as if sensing my newfound resolve. Each rustle of leaves and gentle sway of branches spoke of ancient wisdom just waiting to be unearthed. With an insatiable curiosity pulling me deeper, I navigated through the underbrush, the sun painting the world in golden hues. Each step resonated with purpose, each breath swelled with anticipation of what lay ahead. Guided by instinct, I followed a faint trail matted with rich foliage, feeling an unexplainable pull toward mystery. Suddenly, the trail opened up to another clearing, but this time, it was not stones that caught my attention. Instead, a large tree dominated the space, its sprawling branches reaching skyward as if striving to connect with the very heavens. Its trunk was gnarled and wide, each groove a testimony to countless seasons. As I approached, I noticed symbols carved into the bark, each a story, each a lesson, their narratives intertwining with the essence of the tree. I reached out and laid my palm against the rough surface, feeling a surge of life pulsing within. The energy radiated through me, grounding yet liberating. It was as if the tree had witnessed the weight of my fears, my failures, and my longing for understanding. I closed my eyes and let my mind wander, allowing the forest's essence to wash over me. What do you wish to know, seeker? The voice of the tree echoed in my mind, deep and resonant like the heartbeat of the earth. Feeling vulnerable yet emboldened, I responded, I want to know how to transform my fears into strength. The voice of doubt has been so loud, I want to listen to the whispers of hope. Transformation begins with acceptance, it replied, and I could feel its wisdom wrapping around me like a warm cloak. You must acknowledge the fear without allowing it to define you. Only then can it become a catalyst for growth. As I absorbed the tree's insights, various images danced behind my eyelids, moments of strength, flashes of clarity amid confusion, choices that once seemed daunting now reframed as opportunities for learning. I recalled the women and men who had faced their struggles and rose anew, each triumph a testament to the power of surrendering to the natural flow of life. I relaxed deeper into the connection with the tree, and suddenly a whisper broke through the stillness. "Seek the mirror." "What mirror?" I asked, my heart pounding in sync with the pulse of the forest. "Find the reflection in others, the friend who fights their own battles, the stranger who shares a smile, the mentor who relays wisdom. Each face holds a piece of your own narrative, a glimpse into your potential." Intrigued, I opened my eyes, taking a step back from the embrace of the ancient tree. The world around me felt more vibrant, alive with the interconnectedness of souls and stories. The understanding that my journey was intertwined with those I encountered sparked a fire in my heart. I was not alone, nor could I be. As I ventured on, the questions remained unfurling like leaves in bloom. Who would be the next mirror? What tales would guide me through my self-inquiry? The adventure ahead was as much about connection as it was about confrontation, a dance of spirits weaving in and out of my story. Each footfall over roots and stones whispered a gentle reminder that growth does not come from the absence of fear, but as a revelation born from facing it head-on. The forest thrummed with purpose, and with each breath I took, I felt the weight of the stone and the guidance of the tree propelling me toward deeper wisdom. But amid the swelling hope, a lingering question curled within me. In this journey of unlocking hidden truths and facing fears, would I discover the strength I sought, or would the mirrors around me unveil shadows I had yet to confront? As I continued deeper into the heart of the forest, the path twisted and turned, weaving through towering ferns that brushed against me like gentle whispers. The ambience shifted subtly, the air thickening as twilight approached, creating a sense of mystery that stirred my curiosity. The vibrant greens of the underbrush began to melt into cooler shades of blue and purple, signaling that the day was wrapping itself in a shroud of dusk. I paused briefly, inhaling the fragrant richness of the earth as the sun dipped below the horizon. Whatever revelations awaited me, I felt I was being guided not merely to seek answers but to embrace each moment as a sacred occurrence. I clutched the stone in my pocket tightly, a talisman of my journey's purpose, and pressed onward. After what felt like an eternity lost to gentle wanderings and contemplative silence, I stumbled upon an unusual sight, a small pond nestled within a circular clearing. The surface was immaculately calm, reflecting the darkening sky above like a shard of polished glass. Fascinated, I approached the water's edge, the air growing cooler as I kneeled down and drew closer. As I gazed into the pond, my own reflection mingled with the twinkling stars peeking through the canopy. The water began to ripple, distorting my image, and as it settled, I suddenly saw flashes of Ceniza tapestry of life unfolding in the depths. Faces of those I had loved and lost, people whose paths had intersected with mine, each moment stark yet alive with emotion. It was as if the pond was mirroring back the connections I had made, reminding me of the lessons they imparted. Embrace the reflections, a voice floated from the water, soft yet imbued with strength. It carried the resonance of the numerous stories intertwined with mine. In these images, you'll find fragments of your truth both painful and enlightening. Will I recognize myself within them? I asked tentatively, a flicker of insecurity igniting in my chest. You will see what you wish to see, it replied, but remember, within the distortions lies clarity. The truth often dances on the edge of discomfort, and to grow, one must be willing to face it. The urge to withdraw, to flee from the reflection of fragmented selves, brushed against my consciousness. However, I felt a greater weight within me, the urgency to peel back layers that had cloaked my understanding. So, I leaned closer and allowed the memories to wash over me, a mixture of joy, grief, and catharsis. Suddenly, the face of a wise mentor appeared, one who had shaped my beliefs and sparked my passions. Your strength does not lie solely in your knowledge, the mentor's voice echoed across the stillness. It resides in your vulnerability, in your willingness to embrace the depth of your being. Remember, every scar holds wisdom, every tear, a lesson. That I felt my heart swell as I grasped the profound truth woven through those moments, each reflection illuminating shadows previously hidden from view. This journey was a collaborative experience. What I sought within myself could be found in the shared stories of others. With newfound resolve, I lifted my gaze to the night sky, where constellations twinkled brightly, ancient reminders of interconnectedness. What next? I whispered into the void. What more do I need to uncover? The water's surface rippled once again, reshaping the images, as if to answer my plea. Search for the stories that resonate. Trust in the connections you forge. The next mirror may reveal what you cannot yet see in yourself. I withdrew from the pond, the reflections continuing to swirl in my mind like a dance, a chorus of possibilities. Each step away from that tranquil haven seemed to thrum with questions of its own. Would the next encounter lead me deeper into the truths I yearned to uncover? Who would emerge as a new mirror, ready to reflect the essence of my journey anew? In the quiet of the night, whispered thoughts resonated within me. In seeking the reflections of my life in others, what shadows will I illuminate? How will these revelations shape my understanding of strength and vulnerability? And as the forest cradled me in its embrace, those questions remained suspended in the air, like delicate stars waiting to fall. As I ventured beyond the pond, I felt an electric tingle in the air, as though the very fabric of the forest was alive with ancient energy. Fragrant nocturnal flowers released their essence, enveloping me in scents both comforting and invigorating. My heart led me through the winding path, heartbeats in sync with the whispering leaves. Each footfall seemed to echo a soft invitation to explore deeper, to uncover the next layer of my soul's narrative. An unexpected rustle in the brush startled me, and I paused, breath caught in my throat. Emerging from the shadows was a magnificent owl, its feathers a tapestry of browns and whites. It perched upon a low branch, eyes gleaming like polished amber, surveying me with a wisdom that transcended words. For a moment, we shared a silent communion, two beings caught between worlds, both aware of the mysteries woven into existence. Wisdom is the echo of awareness, it seemed to say, not through vocalization but through the intensity of its gaze. In the stillness of the night, truths inhabit the silence. Will you listen? Tentatively, I stepped closer, the air thrumming with potential. What truths do you guard? I ventured, searching for enlightenment in the depths of its eyes. The owl blinked slowly, the wisdom of ages reverberating in that simple motion. What lies hidden is often cloaked in shadow, but those shadows provide protection. To reveal them is to embrace both light and darkness. Seek the edges, there you will find the balance you crave. The words hit me like a gentle breeze, resonating with the reflections I had just witnessed. I nodded, beginning to perceive this journey not as one of mere discovery but as an unearthing of forgotten truths. I imagined the moments obscured by fear, regrets veiled by pride, and I wondered how much of my spirit had been dulled by the shadows I allowed to linger. As the owl took flight, its wings spread wide, I felt a ripple of inspiration surge within me. I pressed on, the path illuminated by the soft glow of moonlight, leading me deeper into the forest's embrace. A sense of urgency bubbled within. I was on the precipice of something significant. Soon, I emerged into another clearing, this one encircled by stunning wildflowers that danced in the moonlight. In the center stood a weathered stone altar, covered in moss and adorned with offerings, a visual testament to lives once touched by this enchanting place. A flicker of warmth ignited within me as I approached, drawn to the altar as if it held the secrets of those who had come before. Carefully, I walked around it, noticing small tokens, a worn feather, tiny pebbles, and sprigs of dried herbs. Each item spoke of connection, of reverence, testaments to hopes, prayers, and sacrifices made in search of clarity. I placed my hands upon the cool stone surface and closed my eyes, leaning into the energy that emanated from the altar. I honor the journeys of those who walked before me, I said softly, a gentle prayer escaping my lips. Let their wisdom guide my path. As I stood there, an image flickered in my mind, a vision of a figure cloaked in silver, standing at the edge of a cliff bathed in starlight. The figure turned, revealing a face that bore a striking resemblance to my own, yet with a serene expression that radiated peace. My heart stirred with recognition, as if this figure was a part of me yet to be uncovered. Who are you? I whispered, a strange blend of fear and exhilaration coursing through me. You are destined to meet the higher version of yourself. The vision spoke, its voice a gentle caress that wrapped around my consciousness. In every choice you make, in every face you see, the essence of this higher self is reflected. Journey forward, trusting the tapestry that binds all existence. Just as suddenly as it came, the vision faded, leaving me breathless with the weight of its message. I pulled back from the altar, a spiraling array of questions igniting within me. What if my higher self held the keys to the shadows I feared? Could I trust that journey into the darkness of my own being to unearth the light? Within, as I turned to leave the clearing, the forest enveloped me anew, each whispering branch a reminder that this expedition would demand courage and resilience. The questions ignited within me lingered like the tail of a comet trailing across the canvas of my mind. How do I embrace the shadows to find the wisdom hidden within? And as I stepped forward, I realized that each moment, each encounter, was a vital thread in the pattern of my greater understanding, an unfinished quilt waiting to be stitched together by my own hands. The night unfurled into a tapestry of serenity, wrapping me in its embrace as I reflected on the journey I had undertaken. I wandered deeper into the forest, the moon now a sentinel casting silver light over the path ahead. Each footfall felt deliberate and purposeful, infused with the lessons of the owl, the tree, and the whispering shadows. I could sense the culmination of my experiences converging, intertwining like the roots of the ancient trees surrounding me. As I walked, I felt an unshakable pull in my chest, a magnetic force guiding me toward something profound. I slowed my steps, allowing the energy of the forest to wash over me, teasing open the edges of my consciousness. What awaited me amidst the towering trees and starlit sky? A culmination of fears awaited, I sensed, gathering like clouds before a storm. With each breath, a soft pulse echoed from the stone I cradled in my pocket, a reminder of the old woman's words, urging me to confront instead of evade. It was no longer just a talisman, it had become a compass, aligning me with my true north, protected yet fragile, waiting for me to embrace its message fully. I paused, taking a deep breath, letting the cool night air fill my lungs. It was time to unearth the truths buried within the depths of my heart, the desires that shimmered beneath layers of doubt. Suddenly, my surroundings shifted. I emerged into a small clearing, where the energy felt charged, alive with palpable anticipation. In the center stood a small altar made of natural stones, each carved with symbols that felt familiar, echoing the earlier encounters of my journey. Flickering candlelight illuminated the space, casting dancing shadows that whispered untold stories. That I stepped closer, sensing that within this sacred circle lay the very essence of my exploration, the invitation to confront the fears that had governed my past decisions. A deep, resonant voice echoed softly, beckoning me to kneel before the altar. Welcome, seeker. Here, we cultivate the space for transformation. I closed my eyes, reflecting on the culmination of my journey, the lessons learned, the shadows faced, the mirrors uncovered. It was time to truly acknowledge what had held me captive, and in doing so, allow the sunlight of self-compassion to illuminate the path forward. My heart thrummed with anticipation and trepidation, holding within it the weight of inquiries previously unmet, fear of vulnerability. I spoke softly, the sound barely a whisper against the tableau of night. Fear of being seen, of being unworthy. As I uttered the words, I felt a shift. Familiar tendrils of doubt grasped my heart. Yet, I pressed on, inviting each fear to rise. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of lacking purpose. Each word hung in the air, heavy yet cathartic, as if the universe itself validated my struggles. In that moment of vulnerability, I sensed the shadows surrounding me begin to dissipate like mist caught in the morning sun. A lightness unfolded within me, unmasking vulnerabilities that had once felt insurmountable. I grasped the stone tightly, allowing its warmth to seep into my skin and murmur the truths I craved. Will I ever truly be enough? My voice trembled, cascading like a waterfall, unleashing the resonance of doubt I had carried for too long. As if in response, a soft breeze wrestled through the trees, swirling gently around me, flowing with ancient wisdom. You already are, the wind whispered. You are woven into the fabric of existence, an essential thread in the tapestry of life. To embrace your true self is not to seek validation but to honor your journey. With each pulse of connection, the fears transformed from menacing shadows into gentle whispers, revealing that their presence, however uneasy, was an invitation to heal. As I breathed deeply, I realized that perhaps it was through the release of those fears that I could uncover the aspirations dormant within me. I opened my eyes to behold the altar. The candles flickered, reflecting the truth that had been laid bare before me, while the symbols danced upon the stones like mischievous sprites, reminding me of the light I had wanted to share, the dreams I had held close. The dance between fear and aspiration, love and doubt, is a journey, I spoke aloud with newfound clarity. To embrace it all is to step into my power. At that moment, a deep peace settled within me like the calm after a storm, a sense of relief washing over my spirit. The shadows of uncertainty no longer imprisoned me, they transformed into allies guiding me toward the light. I realized that this journey was never solely about unearthing fears, but about embracing the duality of existence, acknowledging both the light and the shadow, learning that both were necessary to understand the deeper truths of my soul. The night continued to unfold around me, but within, I held the universe's revelations, woven threads of fears met with love, an awakening of self. With gratitude swelling in my heart, I took a step back, felt the forest stir in acknowledgement, and turned towards the unknown paths that lay ahead, knowing they were filled with infinite possibilities. That I strode forward, illuminated by the light of my own heart's truth. No longer tethered by doubt, I felt free. I had unlocked hidden truths, forged connections with both my fears and aspirations, and now the journey beckoned anew. As I moved further into the embrace of the night, I realized that the essence of life lay not in mere survival but in thriving amid the uncertainty, courageously dance with both fear and love. In closing my eyes, I whispered my newfound wisdom into the depths of the forest, a promise to both myself and the world. To be fully alive is to embrace every aspect of my journey, to trust in the unfolding, and to cherish the extraordinary beauty that arises from the intertwining of light and shadow. With each rhythmic breath, I felt the echoes of truth swell within, carrying me forward into the sacred unfolding of life. And as I took that next step into the greater unknown, I knew deeply that the journey itself was as meaningful as the destination. The only truth that resided in my heart was this: in embracing my full self, I had become a radiant beacon of possibility in this beautiful, intricate tapestry we all share.